Hey guys, welcome to my channel. So, more news on Terrence Kelly, whatever you prefer. I'm just going to call him Terry. So, he's the guy that abducted little Cleo Smith. The woman who raised Terry Kelly gave an interview in May 2019 for the State Library of Western Australia about Kelly's early upbringing. It was found in the Oral Histories archives. And there's snippets of audio. So I'm going to play you a snippet of the audio that I found in a little bit after I'm done reading this. So I'm going to read you some of the stuff that she said, and then there's a little audio clip that I'll play for you of her talking. Okay, so credit source is Daily Mail and the Herald and also the West Australian. So those are all the three sources I used. And after I talk about the woman who raised Terry, I'm going to talk about one of his old classmates. She gives her input on what she remembers as Terry as a little kid. Okay, so first let's talk about the woman who raised him. So, details about the troubled early years of the man accused of kidnapping Australian preschooler Cleo Smith have emerged in an audio tape that reveals he was removed from his mother's care at a young age. The Aboriginal elder who raised the alleged abductor of little Cleo Smith called him a gift from God and a beautiful little boy. New audio has been uncovered of respected Gascoyne elder Penny Walker, revealing how Terry Kelly, now 36, was thrown away by his drug addict biological mother. She handed him over to her Auntie Penny, who had all 6 of her own children taken into care because of an alcohol problem when she was younger. Kelly was just 2 years old when his mother abandoned him to Miss Walker in 1987, who then raised him as her own. I looked down at him and this little boy. God was giving me something back into my life, what the welfare took off me. My children, said Miss Walker, who died in 2020. His mom didn't want him and she threw him away. Kelly lived alone at Miss Walker's dilapidated Tompkin Crescent duplex home in Carnarvon, Western Australia, after her death last year at the age of 77. Since his arrest, it's been revealed Kelly had an obsession with collecting dolls and boasted about his love for girls' toys on various social media pages. Several photographs he posted showed Bratz and Disney princess dolls stacked in a room from floor to ceiling. The tapes reveal he was brought up with Miss Walker's 2 other grandsons after her daughter died from multiple sclerosis. God was giving my children back to me in a different way. So I have this little boy, beautiful little boy, Terry, she said, 2-year-old, jet black curly hair. She revealed she had her own troubled early life as part of the Stolen Generation and spent her childhood in the Moore River Native Settlement and New Norcia Mission. Miss Walker suffered SA and floggings, she said, and later slept in toilets as an adult while enduring DV. Authorities put her on a bus to Carnarvon, 1,000 kilometers north of Perth, and she said in the tapes, I never looked back. Terry lived alone at Miss Walker's Tompkin Crescent home in Carnarvon, Western Australia, after her death last year at age 77. After her own problems with alcohol and her 6 children being taken by the state, she turned her life around and became a respected member of the community. Neighbors remembered her as a pet lover who collected unicorns. Photographer Nick Duncan, who interviewed her for the State Library Project in 2019, described her as having dealt with the bitterness and grudges and is unbelievably positive and upbeat and cheeky. Her warmth and humor, honesty and openness have carried her through, he told the Western Australian. Terry Kelly was just 2 years old when his mother abandoned him to Miss Walker in 1987, who then raised him as her own. Forensic officers spent all day Sunday combing through Kelly's house and gathering evidence for the lab examination. 2 trailer loads of evidence were bagged up and removed from the alleged abductor's home as forensic teams spent their 5th day combing through the property. The top-to-bottom search of the roped-off Housing Commission property is likely to go on for several weeks as prosecutors build their case against Kelly. He will return to court at a later date. Okay, so here is a short little audio clip of this woman that raised Terry from the archives that I was just talking about. So I found a little short audio clip. It's like about a minute. So here it is.
MS. I read 3 boys that my daughter passed away with MS. A little boy, his mum didn't want him. and she threw him away, and she said, well, you want a little boy to look after? Auntie Penny. I looked at Snubby. He was drunk and he started crying. Very soft heart he is. And we, oh yeah, we'll take him. I looked at him, and this little boy, God was giving me something back into my life, what the welfare took off me, my children. And God was giving my grandchildren back to me in a different way.
Yeah.
So I had this little boy, beautiful little boy, Terry, a 2-year-old, jet black curly hair.
So now I'm going to talk about a woman that went to school with him in the past, so a former classmate. She said she didn't notice any unusual behavior in his younger years and says his alleged abduction of Cleo Smith shocked, infuriated, and saddened her. I went to school with Terrence Kelly, or Terry, as we knew him for many years. The long-term local and former classmate said, I didn't notice any unusual behavior. He was just one of the kids that I grew up with. His recent alleged actions have shocked, infuriated, and saddened me, like they have most people that knew him. The woman said she also knew Cleo's family and considered them friends. She reprimanded skeptics, telling them to dig as hard as you won't find anything on them. So you're talking about Cleo's family, the parents. You're not going to find anything on them because you know how there's people out there now still not wanting to accept that they are innocent. And then, they're just falling into these conspiracy theories, trying to blame them. And she's saying, go ahead, dig as hard as you want. You're not going to find anything on them. They're a lovely family that have just experienced one of the most traumatic events that any family could ever endure. Okay, so that's all I have on her. And I also listened to this audio of a reporter from Australia because she was at the house and interviewing like the neighbors and stuff, and then interviewing some people from the locals from the campsite area, from the blowholes. So she said they filled 2 trailers of evidence bags and saw them take dolls out of the house. So they were taking the dolls out. And also, it could take them possibly a few more weeks of them going through the house. So their investigation could take a couple more weeks of them trying to sift through the house. Possibly a couple more months, but that's probably the extreme. But they estimated a few more weeks. And then the local people that go to the blowholes said that they had seen Terry Kelly driving around the area a lot recently. But they never saw him camping there. They just seen him around the area. So pretty interesting, yeah. I mean, it does seem like he didn't have much of a mother figure, or, well, I mean, he had that lady that raised him. But, his mom gave him up, so I wonder how soon he 2 years old, he might not remember that situation. So did the adopted mother tell him that he was adopted right away, or how did that work out? Did he know he wasn't wanted, and what his mom was, and what his parents were, his real parents? Does he know his whole situation at an early age? How did that affect him? I think that definitely does come to play on some of his obsessions, fetishes, whatever you want to call them. It definitely, your upbringing all comes into play. It all affects you. So definitely played a part. I just wonder, the lady that did raise him, it sounds like she was a good woman. So I wonder how he was raised. Doesn't sound like he had a father figure growing up, so that definitely could have affected his perception of the world as he's trying to learn and grow up and learn what the world is, and also just to teach him things, how to be a man, and just somebody to model after, like a role model, somebody to imitate, or just to have that father figure for him to relate to. I don't know. What do you guys think? We'll talk about this in a live. I might do like a live coming up where we just kind of keep it open and talk about all the different cases that I've covered and just kind of discuss what everybody wants to discuss. So we'll definitely discuss this case. All right, everybody. Just wanted to let you know what was going on with this guy, and I will definitely keep you updated if anything else comes out. Have a good one. Bye.
Really, 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 really need your love. I'm begging you to be kind. I'm begging you to be